2 seconds, 1 second. It's streaming. Signal's good.
Right, this could be live. So, Julia, I think you might be seeing something, hopefully. Yes. Hooray!
Right, go back out, Nicholas, start all over again.
Leave it running.
Come on then.
Hello! What an amateur beginning. So, welcome to Microworld at Home, and it's the Flesh Mark II. And yes, we did have a little bit of a struggle there. I think put it down to the fact that we had this catastrophic signal failure last week, and then Tim and I have been doing loads of tests, and consequently we set up too many streams and everything got confused. Anyway, I shall calm down now. So, welcome.
You've lost 16 minutes, haven't you?
Welcome to the Flesh. And I'm just going to check that something's happening, and it is. So, this is the Flesh Mark II, and it's another trip into the Odyssey that is J.D. Bernal's The World, the Flesh and the Devil. We've got some collaborators who kindly agreed to collaborate again with us this week. Thank you very much. We've got a live performance from Svetlana Ochkovskaya at 3:30. Live sound performance from Julia Schauerman at 3 o'clock. We've got video works from David Viey, Simon Ray and Jonathan Armour. And we've also got Sean Clark's MQTTs. Behind me is a new flesh wall, revamped version of what we had last week. This is called The Fly, and it was us reworking Mother. You may remember Mother from the World Week. So we've got lots of human bits and sea life bits. And to lead into this sort of reworking of the flesh that Tim and I do, Tim's going to, I'll just take the mask off so you can see it. So this is in fact it was inspired, a friend of ours said to us that Mother reminded him of human soup, and this is can you take that? Reminded him of human soup, so this is our reworking of our flesh into human soup. That's Julia on the phone, so I wonder if that's an indicator that there's a problem. Is there a problem, Tim? It's gone?
No, we still haven't got it apparently, so try again. Alright, cheers, Julia. Maybe it's her end now.
It may be that we need to provide the key.
Read the key out?
Yeah, so it's because...
You've changed the key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the key, no, it's the address.
How are you going to do that?
Oh gosh, on the front end of the website.
Okay, so it is streaming. What we're doing now is we've set up a different stream because the first one got tangled up. So Nicola's going to be providing a different address, which she'll put on the front end of our website. So in terms of people trying to watch live, you might have some problems, but it will get archived and you can look at the show afterwards.
Or we'll just do a quick lead in, okay? Julia, I'll give you, is Julia still on the phone?
No.
Can you get her back? Because I'll read out she can add it into the feed. She can actually type the URL into the feed, okay?
Okay. Well, why don't I just do something else instead?
Can you get her on the phone for me?
I don't know how to use your phone, Nicola.
Do you really not?
So the Flesh, this show's called The Flesh. This is the third time I've said this now, so I wonder what it will turn out like on the archived recorded show. Maybe I'll be saying it 3 times. The Flesh is one of the chapters in a book by J.D.
Keep the new
Bernal.
to the front end of the
I'm going to just put some music on instead because Nicola's trying to set up a connection on the phone. So
feed,
scrap that.
If you go to the front end of the website, can you see it? It's underneath the Flesh. It's on the website, not the URL, not the...
So I'm going to read some section from J.D. Bernal's The World, the Flesh and the Devil to fill the gap, because we have no idea if we're broadcasting or not. The World, the Flesh and the Devil was written about 1913. It was J.D. Bernal's attempt to look at the future of humanity through scientists' eyes within the context of the three enemies of the rational soul. The three enemies being the world, the flesh and the devil. The world is a struggle with massive unintelligent forces of nature, heat and cold, winds, rivers, matter and energy. So the problem was there was too many people on the planet. So the future was to get all these people off the planet, and the best way to do that, he thought, was to grab a nearby asteroid,
Where are my glasses?
hollow it out, put all the humans in the middle, hundreds, thousands of them, floating around, no gravity inside an asteroid, floating around, bouncing into each other, surviving for hundreds of thousands of years that it will take to get to other planets, to occupy other planets. So the first chapter of The World was about how he designed this spaceship. And we did a show on that about a month ago. And we imagined all these sea people of Margates floating off into space. So then the second challenge to humans in the future was things closer to him. Animals and plants, his own body, its health and disease. And that's the chapter we're doing this week, it's the flesh chapter. So to survive in this floating asteroid in the middle of space, he thought he would reimagine the human body, get rid of all the stuff it didn't need, like legs, turning the humanoid into this floating kind of slug brain connected up to all these scientific instruments, microscopes, telescopes. So I'm going to read a bit about that from his book. Instead of the present body structure,
Okay,
we should
so
have...
It does look like we're live. So, Julia?
We should have... Could you not do this in another room, Nicola? We should have the whole framework of some very rigid material. Probably not. I'm going to put the music back on because Nicola's trying to confirm we actually have got a stream at the minute.
Send it to you on email, okay? I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, we'll try the other thing.
So I'm back. We're looking at a different wall this time. This is, we're doing this Microworld at home, in our living room, which is a 4 meter by 4 meter space. We've got lots of webcams, projectors, computers, all connected together And we sit in here each week and do a kind of improvised broadcast based around this new program that we're developing, which is called See People. See People is let's go to screen 3. It's a big program that contains lots of little programs. So I can bring up various things, I can bring up dots, give them various behaviours, make them draw trails. So some of the creatures are very, very simple little dynamic systems.
Shall I come back?
Come back, Nicola.
Right, okay, amateur week.
Don't bother going out the door.
No, I'm not going to. Okay, so Tim put it on me again. Right, so I've actually done this already once. Big apologies.
Twice.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly say we had a really difficult time last week because our signal dropped out. We did lots of tests this week, and guess what? We confused everyone in terms of all the software and everything with our different keys and addresses and testing sites and what have you. We're back. So I'm going to move a bit quicker, but I will say again, we've got our lovely contributors from last week are joining us again. We've got at 3:30, we've got Svetlana Ochkovskaya doing a short live performance from Portsmouth. We've got Schauerman doing a live sound performance from Sheffield. We've got the video works of David Viey, Simon Ray, Jonathan Armour as well into the mix, and then Sean Clark is contributing with some MQs.
And if you get half of that done, Nicola will be impressed.
It will be amazing. Anyway, this is the flesh behind me. Some of you will have been watching it for about 5 minutes. You probably don't need to see it anymore. But just to say, it's a mass of our flesh, male and female, and also sea life as well, dead sea life animated. And it was a development from Mother, and I'll come back to us manipulating flesh in a little while. But Tim, are you ready to talk a little bit about the flesh from J.D. Bernal's perspective? Because I'm going to get the sea angel up for you. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me try and get some sort of control.
J.D. Bernal's book was very inspirational to us. It's a very short book. It's been described as a gem and one of the most amazing scientific speculations ever by Arthur C. Clarke, who's quite good at it himself. So this book was written a long time ago, and it's full of amazing ideas from a scientist of the 1930s, socialist Marxist. So the idea that we latched onto the most in his book is the actual flesh chapter, which is the idea of extending and changing the human body and actually turning it into a bit more of a giant crustacean. Is that a slug? Snail?
A mollusk, you think? Yeah, more of a mollusk. In fact, the sea angel is a mollusk. A snail.
Yes.
A gastropod.
So lots of our early pieces, which were much more, or very fleshy and sexual, this is about 10 years ago we developed these, were inspired by this book and messing around with the human body, reconfiguring it, getting rid of the brain, becoming more sensual. So one of the creatures we made was Sea Angel. It doesn't get shown much, the Sea Angel. It was an interactive piece.
We've got also the globster behind.
Oh, yeah,
if I go on to one. So this is another reworking of the flesh. If I just move around, you'll see my Connect figure can interfere with it and you'll hear a bit of sound. So again, made up, thinking about creatures that live in colonies and have multiple sex cells and a sensual life. It gets back to that focus on the sensual rather than the cerebral.
I mean, all our project is inspired by amazing creatures that exist in biology, and we just adapt them, mess around with them, take bits we like. That looks brilliant, Nicola. Look at that. We are doing a piece where we're going to. It's not this sea angel, was it? What's the one we want one that draws this kind of trail with its tail.
Yeah.
But that looks a bit like that.
Yes,
the kind of effects you're getting there. On what is it? One. Yeah, look at this. Amazing.
Yeah.
Those lines are actually being created by a kind of the little blue dot you can see in the bottom right corner is a kind of spring system that it's called cells, and they just put these springs between these fleshy little balls, and they start moving in odd ways, because springs, no one knows what's going on with springs, they're really hard to control.
So Tim, I think because we've had a slightly stressful beginning, we'll probably both need to calm down a bit, and we'll put on a Jonathan Armour film, Totem, which is slices of skin coming through, and we're going to interact with them, and Tim's going to put some music on to go with this piece, if you want to sort that out, and then we'll personally go quiet so we can breathe a sigh of relief that we've actually got something running.
Okay, we're back on. Thanks, Jonathan. That was very ominous. Found quite a few new things we hadn't seen before. Those yellow jaggy lines are the pseudo-scorpion, which is a little yellow star that attaches itself to other things. In this case, tiny weeny little dots, which you can't quite see, but if I zoom in, you can see it's got one right in the middle of it. It's attached to this dot and it's been flying around the screen, which I've shrunk, so when it gets to the edge, it leaves this yellow trail. It looks quite interesting. Mm. Well, not now. It's also the dots themselves are not leaving a trail, so they're leaving this kind of spider's web. We'll take the video off. Got this kind of interesting spidery line, which I've not seen before. I guess we have. I'll tell you what, I think I must have pressed trace by mistake because it's leaving a trail, isn't it? Ah. That got added in last week. I didn't add in anything this week because it crashed. Nicola said I didn't have to do anything new, so I didn't. And then we crashed again. But we decided we're going to chop the half. You look at dots. You're covered in dots, Nicola. Where's the camera? Come on, you. We'll chop the first half of last week's one with the second half of this week's one, and we might just about manage to get a show out of it. Edit it together, upload it back.
Yeah, and thanks again for anyone that has persevered, because that probably was a bit painful. So
we've got a new address. We're on a different address, which you put on the front of the website, haven't you? I
have, but it's also going into our YouTube stream. So anyone that clicked on the YouTube for
they
us
might
will
see
get it
the other
anyway.
one if they're clever.
No, it's running live anyway. Anyway, here is our Super Squirt. Okay, what a beautiful thing. I'm afraid there's no sound unless Tim wants to impersonate.
I'm not making the sound of a Super Squirt.
So the Super Squirt is a development from I think it was our second creature, which was the sea squirts. And sea squirts, the reason for those of you who've been following this, you'll know that our very first creature was a starfish. And the starfish belongs to a family called deuterostomes, which is mouth second. Believe it or not, it was the arse that was first. And the sea squirts belong to this family, but they're also called belong to the tunicate family. And
make it squirt, Nicola. Nicola's it's interactive, this one. She's waving her hand in front of the screen. This piece was for sorry, what were you saying, Nicola?
It's alright, you've just sort of taken it away.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, it was designed to run in a bar, wasn't it? Rotor reliefs.
Yeah, we did it for an event in Brick Lane. Rotor reliefs set up an event, and so this was a shadow-driven sea squirting creature. So a little bit rude, maybe. But the thing that's of interest here is the fact that it was the third creature we made, and in this instance, so the first one was a starfish, which you could say was a portrait of me. Second was an urchin, which was a portrait of Tim, and this is where we combined forces. But it also, the thing that interests me particularly about sea squirts is that some of them actually form colonies, so they settle together. So usually they're swimming, or as larvae they swim, and then they find a nice spot, settle down head first onto the rock, and they're fixed there forever. But some varieties actually join these super colonies. So here is.
And they get rid of their brain, don't they?
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah. And actually, it's this particular creature that I will be looking to do more work with, because also in the tunicate family is a group called the siphonophores. Yeah. Which are really beautiful. If you've never seen one, go online to the tunicates. Siphonophores are like massive floating glass bottles. And
then ones that form a colony.
Yes.
With different jobs.
Massive. And then the larvaceans, if some of you may have seen them described as snot sculptors, they create these really elaborate frames out of mucus. So yeah, so a group of creatures that I will be doing some future work with. So this is me just literally running my thumb in front of the camera and setting it off, triggering it off. So what I'd like to do then is to go to Jonathan's second film, which
Okay.
is called The Inside Show, because this is actually with the idea I mentioned earlier about deuterostomes. Well, humans are deuterostomes. We belong, we are part of the family that is starfish and urchin and sea squirts, and it's thinking about us as a tube. And Jonathan's work, The Inside Show, well, you'll see why I think this is a good piece to call up, if I can get it working.
Drop some sound.
Yes.
Thrifty sound. Wow. Let's get everything else darker. I want to see it.
So Julie's going to be live in 3 minutes.
Okay, well, we're back on microphone. Globster looks like it's enjoying that black hole you've created there, Nicola, and a starfish and all.
Yeah. So how do I get the starfish down? Is there anything I can do to...
Drag it down. You need to be on the starfish menu to be able to drag it.
Yeah, so... Hey.
The starfish, yeah. Oh, that's big. It changes colour depending on what the colour of the background video is. I think red makes it... I think blue makes it sleepy. Green makes it go dark and spiky, and red makes it angry. Something like that. Can't remember. There's a set that you can put up the drives. If you press the info button on the starfish, you see what levels it's got, how mad it is, how sleepy it is, so forth, how hungry it is. We'll be working more on that in the future, not with the starfish, but with another creature. A seagull, in fact. We live in Margate. There's seagulls everywhere. Spend half my day watching seagulls out the back window, trying to work out what they're doing. So, what is that film, Nicola?
So
is it inside his own body?
It's called The Inside Show.
Yeah.
And so this works... Oh, we haven't got it on there. Let's have it on to... what's that? 1 and 2. Yeah.
Nice.
So has Julia got a signal coming through?
Oh, I should check.
So we'll have our first live performance in a few minutes.
I'll hold your breath on that, Nicola. Oh, it's unpasted the... That's a bit cheeky. It's unpasted itself.
What's that mean?
It means I have to go online, grab a link address, paste it into the plugin. All the while trying not to crash the mainstream. Should be fine. That looks quite poetic. Globster doesn't look very interested.
No, well, it wasn't very interested in me either. So Globsters connect, but we don't really have quite enough room. If I come over here.
We're going to have to figure out how to get some room though, because connect.
I managed to push it up.
I'm going to have to restart OBS.
Okay, Julia, so we'll be starting you soon, okay? Yeah, so we've been running the show for about
12 weeks.
12 weeks, and the last 2 weeks...
Smoothly, never once a hitch, never once a problem.
Oh dear.
And then as soon as we try to get a bit more professional...
Yeah.
Right, so I'm getting a signal. I'm going to turn it on.
Okay, so this is live from Sheffield, and it's Julia Schauerman, and it's called Evo.
Thank you, Julia, yet again, producing a big chunk of juicy sound in the middle of our show.
And that, behind or in the space, we've been running 3 films by Svetlana, so we'll be seeing a performance from her at past. So these are 3 pieces. This is from the works We Are Not Ourselves. So we saw Body G and a spiky creature from the scene. So a little bit more from Svetlana.
Accompanied by big bugs.
Bacteria even.
So I've turned erosion up on this one. We need something that eats. I don't eat it. Maggots. I forgot about them. Maggot. Right. Get eating maggots. Clear that screen for me. We tried to have a system which, obviously, we're pressing hundreds of buttons here to change things, but we want to make it. Well, one, we want to make it much more automated. You see, here's Julia's calling. But 2, we want to have different creatures that eat away at the screen, or add to the screen and eat away on their own, without us having to press buttons. Then we can just put a feet up. So, Nicola, is that Julia? Is it someone else?
Oh yes, did we run you a bit soon? Oh yeah, so Julia's in the house. I'm just gonna, it seems like it's one of those days. Apologies, Julia, we brought you in a bit early. And guess what? It's because we've got 3 clocks in the room, so, and a load of, anyway, whatever. Apologies, Julia. Tell us a little bit about your sound.
It's really lovely working with the images. What I did was I had a nice... Tim's got his signal for when I come in. And then what I did was I had the animals and the crew and the inhabitants sounds that I'd had a couple of weeks ago for The World, the Flesh and the Devil. But what I'd done is that I'd morphed them, so after a few minutes, gradually noise was turned into tones so that they became quite sort of, you may have heard sort of high frequency pitches and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that's the animals and the crew and the inhabitants on the spheres evolving as they go into new realms. And so I had those sounds coming in, and then I had the sound of the spheres, the little melodic pieces coming in. I was working with 12 sounds this week, and then there were 3 channels of skin sound. I was inspired by flesh, so I had dry flaky skin, itchy skin and squelchy skin.
Thanks, Julia.
And it was the squelchy skin that finished the whole piece off.
Lovely. And Julia, you've actually written sound for some of our animals, our creatures in the past, haven't you? So yes. Skin Wall, which we showed last week, and the Fly as well. Oh no, the Fly. Did you do the Fly?
That was Patricia of
Fly. Oh, that was
Fly.
Patricia of
I think
Fly.
Julia recorded some extra sounds for it.
Yeah. So
yes.
Scrunch. She was eating putting loads of cereal in her mouth. Is that Julia?
yeah.
Sound artist, their mouth.
Yeah, and so I recorded for the bacteria with the Eye of the Fly and.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Frankincella tyrollensis.
That's correct.
But I really enjoy it. It's quite inspiring working with you both. So.
Thanks very much. Yeah, and apologies for the little to do at the beginning. So.
No, well done for keeping it together, and it's great show.
Cheers. Okay, well take care and catch up with you next week. All right. Bye.
Yeah, lovely. All right.
Bye.
If anybody is still out there and wants to contribute to the show, they can add in. Go to this web address. Sean Clark set up a pixel editor there, create a pixel, send it in. That's what someone said, action in. I think that's Art for Life. David always sends that, doesn't he? They'll bounce around. In the next, we'll talk about what we're going to do in the future weeks towards the end of the show, but we will be developing this system much more. I say this every week. So yeah, design a pixel, send it in. We'll leave that screen running for a bit. What's next, Nicola?
Well, I'm just getting my Zoom ready because we're going to be doing a stream with Svetlana on Zoom. So if you want to, I've got some programs there. If you can play around for a few minutes. I'll be with you in a second. I just want to make sure everything's working, okay?
Okay, so I'm going to leave the pixel things running on that wall, and I'm going to play on the middle wall. No, I'm not going to play on 1 and 3, I want. Okay, so the piece you can see on the left side is called Animalcules, which is one of our very early pieces, using photos and video of our body parts collaged together into these little microorganism-like creatures. Animalcules comes from a Dutch. Well, he wasn't a scientist, but he did build microscopes.
Oh, you're talking about Leeuwenhoek?
Leeuwenhoek, yes.
Yeah, so I found actually, it was remarkable. He made like glass out of a little, pipetted a bit of glass and filed it. And,
for a month.
they were remarkable. Yeah, they're still not entirely sure.
So he was a cloth trader from Amsterdam. Or was it Delft?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes.
Right, certainly Holland. Dutch.
Which one?
Dutch.
He's Dutch.
Oh, I don't know. I think
so
Delft.
Holland at that time, this is like 17th century?
Yeah,
It's like the world centre of cloth trade. So they get all the cloth there from India or wherever, the east. And to judge the quality of the cloth, they'd look at it through loupes or little lenses. So they were experts in cloth, they were also experts in making lenses, and he was in his part-time, he built the world's best microscope and looked at a blob of water.
His mouth, saliva,
All sorts, semen, everything. Anything he get his hands on.
That's right. I think we said last week, but I'm not sure that anyone heard, that a lot of people got really. He took saliva from other people so he could see the little animalcules in their mouth, and people actually thought that it meant there was something wrong with them. So a tremendous number of people had their teeth pulled out.
He wasn't a doctor.
No, but he wasn't actually saying it was bad, but people were so disgusted by it.
It was bad because it was inside this drop of water at about 400 magnification. They could see these little things prettily moving, and he called them animalcules, like molecules, but animals, and didn't know what they were. They were everywhere, billions of them in your mouth.
But people thought they shouldn't have been there. That was the problem. So a lot of people were upset by the idea of having these animals in their mouth.
Yeah,
so because
people
of
still
that,
are.
they had. Well, exactly.
You got notes on your eyebrow, Nicola.
I wrote yesterday that in a milliliter of water there will be 100,000 microorganisms and around 15 million viruses.
That's a lot.
Yeah, huge number. So
So yeah,
we've got
we used
no
these.
idea how massive that world is.
So we didn't know what they were, but he called them animalcules. So we called this piece animalcules, but now we know them microorganisms. Don't want to move my chair around. I'm going to settle in over on your side.
I've got a chair here.
I know, but you're using it. Yeah, so he took various microorganisms, real and imagined, and then rebuilt them out of human body parts, including, I can see testicles here, and breasts, and all sorts.
Put you.
So one thing that I did do, which was new, not this week but last week, is put a tracer effect on everything. Where is that? Is that there, a trace? So in a computer program, typically you wipe everything away, redraw everything as fast as you can, 20 times a second, 60 times a second. But if you don't wipe everything away, you leave a trail. And the trails can be useful. I'll zoom in on them. You create whole new classes of creatures. Let's get it. Let's stick it on fixed. Let's zoom out. Let's clear everything. I'll get trace off. Trace off. Trace back on. So if I zoom in on this section here, zoom in. Oh, there's a ginormous moth in the way.
It'll fly.
However, you can see that you can start to get these other biological light patterns, as if something's boring its way through a rock or fossil. There's a nice little finger creature there, making a kind of spirally type pattern. So these are the animalcules. We have had them interactive at some points. We've shown all our works, we've shown many times in many different sort of configurations. Interactive, not interactive, touchscreen. But the animalcules, some of them are just good enough to leave on their own. And the animalcules is one of those.
Did you say how many we've got? Is it about 47 there?
Different animalcules. More than that, there's about 50 of them by now. Including, we desexualize them, so there's another 20 or so with the breasts and so forth removed or blurred. Often we get commissioned to show stuff in museums or kids' museums, and they don't want lots of breasts floating around, Nicola.
That's true. Although, actually,
even though the kids love it,
yeah, of course they do.
The mums don't love it.
It depends on the venues. Some venues, recognise that the breast is a staple of fine art in the history of painting.
Yeah. And other places, they just think it gets in the way. So, okay, what's next?
Well, so I'm just waiting. Svetlana will be joining me
Okay, you're
soon,
figuring
and
that
then
out.
I'm going to. Yeah. So basically, so this is a first, and it may or may not work. This is where we're doing a live performance, and it's via Zoom. I've got a splitter, so I'm going to split Zoom between my laptop and the wall or the projector. So Svetlana is based in Portsmouth. And her work, so I mentioned the series of works We Are Not Ourselves, it's where we meet hybrid creatures that are neither human nor alien, or
I pressed the colour bar by mistake. It looks kind of cool, so I'll
neither
leave it.
human nor alien, or perhaps both human and alien. And as mentioned, we've already met Body G and the spiky green creature from the scene, and in a minute we're going to meet Body F. So Svetlana will be joining me in a minute, and then we'll be able to introduce you to a performance live from Portsmouth. So
also on the middle screen, Nicholas coded some bubble effect, would you call that? Which is quite nice.
This is Soma. So this is the one that's inspired by the underside. The underside of a leaf has, on many leaves you find these pores, and they regulate gaseous exchange for the leaf.
They get bigger and smaller.
Yeah, they open like little mouths. They're
like a
fascinating,
ventilating system.
So this is a piece loosely based on it. I was thinking about skin.
Which one's 2? Can you zoom in? Do you have a zoom on yours?
No, if you just do that.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I've got. I don't think it's going to work if I put the video on as well. Let's have a look. If I can feed back on itself. But I don't think I've got a zoom on that anyway.
It creates this, it's probably to do with the projector as much as, you've not created these moire patterns, have you? It's just
okay. So I'm just
it's just a disc.
So Tim, do you want to say something? I'll just show you another pattern. If I just get here, these are some scales. Okay, right, so I'm just going to...
You've got feedback.
Yeah, I'm going to turn off my microphone in a second, so I'm just going to take that off. Take the patterns off. I'm going to split the screen, so if I just go to there for a second.
Do you want 1 and 3?
Just don't touch anything in a minute.
Oops. Oh.
And we're just waiting
1.
to start.
Back on me.
Okie dokie. So I'll make that full screen.
1 and 2.
So now Tim, we're going to be responsible for making music for this performance, okay?
Yes.
So Svetlana, can you hear me?
Tell there's a huge delay on it.
Let's see. Svetlana, can you wave if you can hear me? Okay, right.
I can see your head, Nick.
Yeah, okay, so welcome to Microworld at Home. So can you come a bit closer? Because we're going to introduce you to our Microworld at Home audience. Okay, so this is our Body F, and to help Body F feel at home, we're going to play some music for Body F. So, do you fancy having a dance? Wave your hand if you fancy a dance. Okay, brilliant. So, Tim, have you got some music coming?
It's playing.
Okay, so the music's playing. And Body G. Sorry, Body F. So, hope you hear it. Can you hear the music?
I can hear you, Nicola.
Dancing. Oh look, moths landing. So Body F is coming live from Portsmouth by the sea. That's where we are as well, so we've got common ground. Cool moves.
Talk when.
My future evolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Body F.
Oh dear.
Thank you.
Right, let's put something else on.
So, Tim, maybe we could look like that in the future.
It looked like it's sort of been chewed up and then spat back out and then put together. Reminds me a bit of that one. Oh, that was good.
Svetlana Ochkovskaya is a performance artist and filmmaker, and I'll put a link to her work on the front end of our website so you can see more of her films and get an idea of what she does, because there's such a lovely tie-in, you know, that we've found lots of common ground in our work, and which is why we invited her to take part. So thanks again, Svetlana and Vadim. Been great having you, and it was a chance to properly test whether or not we could do live performance.
It kind of worked. It wasn't
Live
the smoothest
performance.
thing I've ever seen in my life, Nicola.
Tim,
She was brilliant.
It was smoother.
Well, it was brilliant, I should say.
It was because actually its gender is undefined.
Yes, well.
And it was the first live performance of visual performance, because of course Julie's been doing sound in the house. And bearing in mind, we failed miserably this morning, or earlier today. That was really good
It's
news.
good. I love our work.
So thank you Svetlana and Vadim, and perhaps we can do something similar again if that wasn't too stressful. Right, I'm just going to quickly show you some of my patterns then. So if we go on to 2. So yeah, I've talked about stoma, inspired by plants, and then unsurprisingly I've included scales. Of course we're quite scaly, but this was thinking about lizard scales. And then I've also got spots, and this is actually, rather than it being inspired by acne, this is inspired by cephalopods, or squids, octopus and cuttlefish, that have various, you've probably heard of bioluminescence, which is light created in a biochemical reaction, but they also have reflecting plates in their skin as well, so it's like having mirrors, if you can imagine mirrors or lenses that create light. What's the matter, Tim?
What's that button do there? Slow-mo?
It slows everything down.
Oh. Not
Anyway,
showing
so those
anything.
are my skin.
Try like this one.
So I'm just going to have the stoma and the spots together.
Check, check. Oh, slow-mo. Let's go slow-mo, Nicola. That's good.
Okay, so Tim's
Film it.
discovered one of his bits of code.
I've forgotten I've done this one. Oh yeah, put everything on slow-mo. Everything. I'll put some music. I'll turn it back
Can
up.
I just say I'm really chuffed again that that actually worked. I mean, it's using Zoom, you know? So it's simple.
I feel like it should be directly
Live fed into the OBS.
fed into it
Possibly.
somehow. One less set of computers to worry about.
Yeah, but Tim, I'm not happy unless I've got a load of computers linked up together.
Your technological empire you've built in over there.
Loads of cables,
Yeah.
at least 20 metres of HDMI cable has to be in the mix.
Okay,
So
I think I'm just going to put slow-mo on and trace on and pixelate and just sit back and watch it. There's not much to watch. I'll create some pixel things.
I'm going to take that off the internet. Did you put some music on?
We're still on mic. I've just put a very low level music on. It's just a kind of drone really.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a video. Now, I really can't work out what I've done why you can't see video through my patterns. So,
I'm just going to
maybe if I
this is
change
good.
the alpha.
look on this screen here, Nicola. This is quite well, I could say it's not Russian. It's geometric. Is Svetlana? Is her background Russian? Or East European? Russian. Yeah.
Why do you're talking about your pattern?
Yeah. Leave the tracer on and then just send pixel things in. What a chaotic show.
Wow, so it's that's slow. So let's see if I can get.
Okay, it doesn't like that. Don't do it that way.
Right, so why can't I see my patterns? So the sort of coding I've done, it just obliterates.
Okay, so you're back on, Nicola.
Okay, so David Viey sent in a film last week, which we showed. He also said to me, Nicola, you can do what you want with the film. So I mutated it because it already had an outing last week as we called it, the hairy arm. So now the hairy arm has split and it's mutated, so it's becoming
weird.
part of a colony.
Okay.
And then this will feed nicely into Simon Ray's film, which is also has a bilateral symmetry, a mirroring effect. Okay.
Oh yeah, that looks quite religious.
Yeah. So let's try and
I'll put
work
some-
with it.
Camera off mic.
Okay, so let's work with it. How have I got a brick?
Just take, go to background, turn off tracer. You need to increase the size of the video.
Yeah, it's crashed.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
It's flickering.
No, I can't select anything.
Your mouse has crashed. Just pull it out, put it back in. You need to do video, Nicola, which is greater than. The video's stopping here. It's going to the
You
edge.
come round to it.
What are you trying to do?
It's crashed.
The mouse has crashed or the thing's crashed?
The program's crashed.
What do you want?
But it's worked.
Yeah, it wasn't crashed, it's just the video's
So run something on top of Davis.
on top of David.
Yeah.
And then after this, when I've had enough of it, I want to do the thing next week, so I'm going to try and sort that out. Did I not put a symmetry in somewhere?
Did you know what?
Oh, this is going. Oh, it's in slow-mo. Good on its own. It's religious, as I said. That's a good mashup on that one.
I think your zoom is a bit big.
So can I try connecting this one to my laptop?
Yeah, so I just change over to silence. So are you going to knock something out? Let's just do 1 and 2 then. I've taken you off 1.
screen is just they stay on the screen. Q is they go spiral, they come from the middle. So I'm going to try and connect my laptop to this, Nicola. Is that a good idea?
Why not?
Okay. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to me to try it. But I'm going to take that one out. So that will go. We'll have put these two on. That one. Okay. I'm going to take the HDMI out of this one. Hopefully put it into my laptop. Oh. I don't want to. And okay. Right, we're back on, Nicola. I'll leave that drone, or is that going to be a bit loud? I'll leave that in the background. I can't access it now because I've run this other program. So, in a couple of weeks' time,
would you like me to talk about it?
Yeah, we're doing the show at Conway Hall. So talk to me.
So it's a virtual show at Conway Hall. So it's the Alt Art Ed Festival, and we were meant to be participating in a physical event earlier on in the summer, which sadly had to be cancelled, but it will come back in 2021, beginning of 2021. So instead of that, there is going to be a virtual Alt Art Ed Festival, and this is on the 25th of July. And as a lead up, we're doing what we call the Road to Conway Hall. So thanks, Simon Ray. Actually, this film is perfect to tell us that we are walking on our way to Conway Hall. And it's as part of the event in the afternoon between 3 and 5, we're going to do our usual live streaming event, but as part of it, we're also running some creature making activities. So it's live, the event is live now. And I'll put a link to it on the front end of our website for anyone who's interested in attending the event. If you're interested in alternative art education, strategies and various art groups and educational institutions that are set up very much independently. And so yeah, as I say, we'll do our YouTube stream, but we'll also be doing a Zoom event which people can sign up to and just have a chat with us, have a go at making a few creatures, and releasing them into the world. So Tim has been busy working on a program. What do you call it?
It's called Conway Hall.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Partly because it's in Conway Hall.
Virtually.
And Conway Hall's famous for holding any type of free speech organisation, festivals, anarchists, book fairs, Marxists, all sorts. Groups, you can hire the place when we do Alt Art Ed there, but also because John Horton Conway, who was the very important mathematician and sort of dabbler in computer science, died this month of COVID. So the parts of the, if you can get rid of those walking feet, Nicola, I'll try to explain this program.
Get rid of them. So I shall walk him into oblivion.
What we're trying to do with Conway Hall is a 2-hour workshop based around this, in this room. So people will be watching our YouTube stream, if we managed to work out how to do it by then. But also creating creatures which will be sent into the space, both pixel type things, as you can see at the moment, which will be an extension from Sean's MQTT system, but then also kind of little logical systems. So this program is also inspired by something called the Movable Feast Machine by David Ackley, another computer scientist. And also it's got quite a lot in common with the program we've been running for a few years called Seed, where you sort of develop visual programming rules. So we're trying to figure out how to use this to get people to think logically, problem solve together in an online space, create something visually interesting, hopefully computery interesting. So in this program, one part of this program is you basically create dots. And I've created some white dots here. They're called density regulators, dregs. And they can bomb around, and then every now and then they'll drop a green dot, which could be food for something else. And if you turn it up to maximum speed, running at hundreds of thousands of loops per second, they eventually fill up the whole screen. And then you can add in other things like you can create little spaces, permanent walls. You can create amoeba. So these are yellow cells. I don't know if you can distinguish them on your screen. Yeah, you can. They spread, they kind of stick together, so spread out. They may take over the whole space, you can't quite tell. The deregulators, the white ones, will be killing them every now and then. You can drop in fork bombs, which will kill out everything, but then the deregulators start clearing the space away again. And then I'm starting to work on these, what's M? I'll try it. Oh, M is a kind of like a maze type system. If I turn the speed up max to let the deregulators clear away the space, the pink maze will come in and start taking over, so that might represent human kind of building things. And you can look at this as a kind of biological pattern, or you can look at it as a kind of logical game of life pattern, which is what the one that Conway invented. But just by sending through very simple little rule-based systems, i.e. if you've got a space next to you, move into it, spread into it, you can start to create kind of interesting clumps of behaviour. And then we want these pixel things, or critters we're going to be calling them, to come in and then change their behaviours. So people will be designing their own little
And how are you going to host it?
rules.
Are you going to have it in the same
We're going to host it live here. People will be watching it on
YouTube and
YouTube, but then at the same
in terms
time,
of the software, how do people access that? Is that going to be on the Art of Things?
it currently is online, and you could actually send one in now if you want to get on your mobile phone. If you go to interactiveartists.uk, there's another pixel designer similar to Sean's one. I don't think this is linked up to Sean's one at the minute. It's a separate one I've done. You can see the mazes have taken over. They're quite pernicious. I can kill everything off there, apart from the little enclave that they survived. What's this one? There's a new. There's one here I was working.
Can I just say, you can't actually read those buttons. I don't know.
No, I know. I'm gonna. This is all temporary at the minute.
Yeah.
They'll be much bigger. They don't actually access the buttons there on my screen.
No, sure, but it'd be quite nice if I knew where M was.
Yeah.
So what did you say it was?
Interactiveartist.uk. It's our test website.
Yeah.
There's a critter designer on there. If I create an enclave and I killed everything off. So you can do sort of experiments. I see they managed to escape it because I didn't create a full hole, but you can do basic kind of little, very crude experiments. So Nicola's going to design a.
Well, I'm just. Oh, it's a bit bright for that, but yeah, I've come
It's similar to
it.
the one on Sean's site.
Yeah.
And we'll put the address up live. Next week we're going to be testing it, hopefully with some of Stephen Carley's students up in Sheffield.
Got a strong connection.
But certainly we'll be just testing it ourselves in the room. So the show is going to pivot a bit. We're going to be doing this sort of art education thing for the next couple of weeks. And then after that, Sean wants to extend the MQTTs for the Computer Art Society. So we'll get some more functionality into those. And then after that, we're going to start using this show more as a kind of an experimental space. So we're actually going to be building the artwork. So less of a kind of show, performative space.
Well, we'll do shows and experiments. I think we'll
do a show once a month, and the other 3 weeks we'll just sit here. So it'll be kind of it'll be more seeing us going through the nuts and bolts of testing stuff out.
Okay, there it is. It's really pitiful, actually.
Nicola, can you not do a pitiful one, please?
Okay, what I'll do is I'll colour it yellow. I didn't realise.
It's pitiful.
Sorry, sir.
Bright yellow, please. You can do a picture of yourself.
Well,
what
it is my touchpad. Because I'll just let you know that the actual design is a bit too big for my screen, so it's wobbling. It's not. You haven't scaled it.
No,
so
I haven't made it.
For you, Tim.
Let's have a look.
Well, it's
wobbling.
Wobbles.
It's rubbish, isn't it?
No, it's not rubbish, but anyway, I'll send it again.
There's 2 of them now.
Yeah.
That's it. You didn't give it a name.
I couldn't get to the keypad. We'll have to debug that, but it's
One thing you'll be able to do is it's got an in and an out, so you can create an input and an output. So your critter can be looking for a certain colour and excrete another colour as it makes a trail around the space.
So where's some dots? Let's have some dots on there.
I want my dots. So if I put the deregulators up, you can see how they kind of slowly they work away. I'll put some in there. They just move around, occasionally adding more trees. I'll put some amoebas out here.
And let's have some music as well.
Well, the trouble is it's on the same laptop as I'm running, so I didn't think of that. Well, we've only got a few minutes left. I will swap this out in a minute.
Okay, I'm going to add some of my own spots.
Oh, go fast, aren't we? Yeah, so the show's going to pivot a bit. We're looking to. Interestingly, we've had some interest from a large museum in the north of England about doing an interactive show possibly in the future, but they're very keen on that there is less touchscreen aspect to it, obviously in the age of coronavirus. So we're going to have to start developing more Kinect-based pieces, which are the ones like Globster over there, which respond. You don't have to touch anything; you just use your body. But that does mean it's quite a different type of interaction. So we will be building those as we go on. So you'll be able to see us doing that and working things out a bit more. So I'm going to quit this program, one down.
So we're coming to the end of the show. So thanks again. Oh dear, I did that, but it picked everything up. So I'm just going to get. Wow.
While you're on this one, the one that I'm changing the screen on.
I think that makes any difference.
It's super bright, that's why, isn't it? It's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, so thanks again to everyone who participated this week. And again, apologies for a slightly tardy start, but it's all good. It all worked in the end. And we're always learning. So let's have some music.
There is music playing. It's super quiet.
Yeah, so I can put something back up there then.
Okay, you're on.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our show. Tim's just connected his HDMI, which is why we're just currently promoting a projector. But behind it, we've got the Fall, which is a piece that we created quite a long time ago. So it's film of us, but it's actually brought together in programming. So you can literally have humans merging together into yet another type of skin wall. And yeah, I suppose I'm always thinking.
It was a vision of hell, wasn't it, Nicola?
Or of
heaven,
glory, orgiastic glory, community coming together in this time of social distancing. Yes, it could be an idea of hell, or it could be something that everyone's.
There's probably a lot of copies in that room.
It could be. Could be. but perhaps no more, no less than is currently going around doing its rounds in the pubs. Anyway, it's coming up to 4 o'clock, Tim, so next week then we're going to do our first step on the journey to Conway Hall, so the Road to Conway Hall Part 1, and all being well we'll be doing some collaboration with students in Sheffield, and we'll put some information on the website so people fancy sending some stuff in, and then the following week we'll be on from 3 to 5 as part of the All Art Ed Festival. Thank you very much.
So put the end music on.
Yeah, indeed.
It's relaxing.